Noticing attention from someone who is already married can feel confusing, even unsettling. You might sense a certain energy, a look that lingers a little too long, or conversations that feel more personal than they should. Before interpreting any of these moments, it is important to pause and reflect on your own values, emotional boundaries, and the possible consequences of getting involved. Situations like this are rarely simple, and they often carry emotional weight for everyone involved. Approaching it with awareness and responsibility is essential for your well-being. Sometimes attraction is communicated in subtle, nonverbal ways. A lingering gaze, repeated eye contact, or a look that feels more intense than casual interaction can create a sense of connection. While eye contact alone does not confirm romantic intent, when it happens frequently and carries emotional depth, it may signal interest. In such moments, staying grounded and not jumping to conclusions helps you respond thoughtfully instead of reactively. Another behavior that may stand out is when someone consistently seeks your help or advice. Reaching out occasionally is natural in any social or professional setting, but repeated dependence, especially when other support systems are available, can feel different. It may create a sense of closeness or emotional reliance. From a psychological perspective, asking for advice can build connection and trust, which is why it is important to stay aware of how these interactions make you feel and what boundaries you want to maintain. You might also notice appreciation that feels stronger than usual. Gratitude is healthy in relationships, but when praise becomes frequent or overly expressive, it can shift the tone of the interaction. This can sometimes lead to emotional attachment if not recognized early. Being mindful of these patterns allows you to respond with kindness while still protecting your emotional space. At times, subtle signs of discomfort may appear when you interact with others, especially women. This could come across as tension, withdrawal, or a noticeable change in behavior. While it is easy to interpret this as jealousy, it is important to avoid assumptions and instead focus on maintaining respectful and clear interactions with everyone involved. Emotional awareness, both of yourself and others, plays a key role in navigating such situations responsibly. Throughout all of this, the most important thing is your clarity. Understanding your intentions and staying aligned with your values will guide your decisions. Emotional situations can feel intense, but approaching them with calmness, respect, and self-awareness helps you avoid unnecessary complications and maintain your integrity. As the connection grows, you may begin to notice a shift from casual interaction to something more emotionally charged. Conversations might become more frequent, more personal, and sometimes unexpectedly intimate. When someone begins to open up about their inner world, sharing personal stories, daily frustrations, or even vulnerabilities, it can create a strong sense of closeness. This kind of emotional exchange can feel meaningful, but it also requires awareness, especially when the person is already committed to someone else. In some cases, the conversation may move toward dissatisfaction in their current relationship. They might express unhappiness, loneliness, or emotional distance in their marriage. Hearing such things can naturally trigger empathy and a desire to comfort or support them. However, it is important to recognize that emotional vulnerability can sometimes blur boundaries. Offering kindness and understanding is healthy, but stepping into the role of emotional replacement can lead to complications that affect everyone involved. You may also observe a more playful or flirtatious tone developing over time. This can show up through light teasing, frequent smiling, or a noticeable effort to keep your attention. Communication might become more frequent, including messages at unusual hours or conversations that feel more personal than typical friendship. These moments can feel exciting, but they can also create emotional confusion if intentions are not clearly understood. Another sign of deepening connection is the desire to spend time alone together. When someone consistently creates opportunities for one-on-one interaction, it often reflects a wish for undivided attention. During these moments, you might feel especially seen, heard, and appreciated. This kind of emotional validation can be powerful, making it even more important to stay aware of your own boundaries and the direction the relationship may be heading. Attention to small details is another subtle but meaningful signal. When someone remembers your preferences, notices changes in your appearance, or recalls things you have mentioned in passing, it shows a level of attentiveness that goes beyond casual interaction. While this can feel flattering, it is helpful to remain grounded and consider the broader context of the situation. As emotional and behavioral patterns evolve, the key is to stay centered. Rather than getting carried away by the intensity of attention or connection, take time to reflect on what is healthy, respectful, and aligned with your long-term well-being. Being mindful in these moments helps you navigate the situation with clarity, avoiding choices that could lead to emotional stress or regret later on. As situations like this continue to develop, the emotional intensity can increase, sometimes leading to moments that feel more direct or intentional. There may be subtle attempts to create physical closeness, such as standing or sitting nearer than usual, or speaking in a softer, more personal tone. At times, conversations may become more suggestive or emotionally charged, testing how you respond. These moments are often less about words and more about observing your reaction, which is why self-awareness becomes even more important. You might also notice a consistent effort to create private space with you, whether it is through extended conversations, quiet moments away from others, or finding reasons to meet one-on-one. The intention often revolves around building a deeper connection. During these interactions, you may feel a strong sense of validation, as if you are being fully understood and appreciated. While this can feel comforting, it is important to recognize how quickly emotional attachment can grow in such environments. Another sign that can appear is heightened attentiveness in both behavior and communication. Small gestures, thoughtful remarks, or remembering even minor details about you can create a sense of being special or chosen. This level of attention can feel rewarding, but it can also make it harder to maintain clear boundaries if you are not careful. Emotional clarity helps you appreciate kindness without becoming dependent on it. At this stage, it becomes essential to pause and reflect on the bigger picture. Involvement in a situation where someone is already committed carries emotional, social, and psychological consequences. There may be feelings of guilt, stress, or anxiety that develop over time, along with concerns about how others might be affected. Protecting your mental and emotional health means thinking beyond the present moment and considering the long-term impact of your choices. If you feel uncomfortable or unsure, it is completely valid to step back. Setting clear and respectful boundaries is not only healthy but necessary. You can choose to keep interactions friendly and appropriate, or if needed, create distance to protect your peace of mind. On the other hand, if you decide to continue engaging, doing so with honesty, awareness, and a strong sense of responsibility is crucial. Ultimately, your well-being and integrity matter the most. Situations like this can be emotionally complex, but with calm thinking, self-respect, and mindful decision-making, you can navigate them in a way that supports your personal growth and emotional balance.